Your style as a portrait photographer is what is most important if you want to succeed in this business model and make some real money. That real money from high quality clients that want your creative input and want your specific style of shooting and don't just want this safe and commercial work. But how do you find your style as a photographer? Well, what if I told you that your photography is like your relationships? Now, you may agree or disagree with me, I don't really care, but right now you probably have a set of beliefs that you like to see in a partner. There's certain qualities, there's certain boundaries that you like to see in your future relationship. And you get into a relationship and you've been in there for a while and you may or may not change your mind on that sort of stuff. You may actually think, I actually don't like this type of quality in a partner. So for example, let's say you get into a relationship and you like that more traditional stay-at-home mom from your girlfriend. Let's say you like that sort of vibe, like them to cook for you, you want them to do all the house chores, whatever. But then you actually get into a relationship with a woman like that and you realize, I actually like someone who's more modern, if that makes any sense. You like someone who likes to have her own ambitions and likes to have their own job and their own career and what they want to do. There's loads of different examples. You may like someone who's quite shy and you like a more quiet and timid type of partner, but then you realize when you actually get into a relationship with that type of person, you actually want to get someone more boastful and someone a bit louder and more confident, or it's the other way around, whatever it is. You find out these new things when you are actually getting into relationships, because sometimes you don't really know what you like until you actually experience that. And it's the same thing with your photography, with your style. So if you try a certain style out, or you don't try it out and you think you like it, how do you know how do you know that you will like it or not if you don't try it out? So let's say you think you don't really like the more airy, low contrast type of lighting and you don't really like the high key, that sort of look, right, where there's not much shadow. You kind of imagine what type of look I'm thinking about, right? Let's say you don't like that look, but you've never tried it before. But then you try it once or twice on a photo shoot and you're like, actually, I quite like this look. I quite like this more clean look to my photos and I'm gonna stick to that. Or let's say before you've tried it, you think that you like this moody, cinematic, very dramatic, high contrast types of photos, and then you try it a couple times and you realize, I actually don't really like that look. I actually prefer this look instead. Again, same thing with your relationships. You think that you like this type of thing in a partner, but when you actually get into a relationship with that partner, you, not all the time, but you may change your mind and be like, actually, I don't really like this. You grow as a person, you change from these experiences, and you're like, actually, I want this type of thing in a partner, or in photography's sake, you want to do this type of photography. So what I'm trying to say is you want to experiment, you want to try out all different types of styles and find out what you actually like. And also start by putting your own twist on things. Don't just completely copy what another photographer is doing, but see what another photographer is doing that you really like their work. And then go, okay, how can I put my own twist on it? How can I put my own little personal adage to it, or whatever, what's the word? I don't know. You're adding like a little personal style to it yourself so you can make it a little bit different, so you're not just completely copying another photographer. And in my opinion, the best way to do this is by doing genius shoots. And by genius shoots, I mean you're planning out the photo shoot. You're taking it to its full potential. You're sourcing a team, maybe even budgeting the photo shoot. You're going all out for it, because if you're doing these more willy-nilly freestyle type of photo shoots where you're not really planning it out that much, maybe you're creating a little PDF or a little mood board, but that's really it, you can't really truly experience that style of shooting. Because let's say you do the moody and cinematic look, but you just kind of show up on the day, you don't really know what to do. You don't really have a good judgment and if you like to do it or not, because you didn't really take it that seriously. But if you do these genius shoots for all these different types of styles, you can truly say, oh yeah, I don't really like that style, or I really like this type of style, or I really like this type of lighting, or I really like this type of styling, or this type of location. Because when you start going all out, again, you're taking it to the full potential, so you really know what it is like to shoot like that. But if you're just freestyling it, you're not really taking your shoots to the full potential. So it may turn out shit, but that's not because the lighting isn't for you, or this type of styling wasn't for you, or anything like that. It's probably just because you didn't really take it that seriously and you didn't really plan it out, and you wasn't trying to take good photos, if you're being honest. So yeah, you actually go all out for it. And if you're watching this and you're more new to photography, follow the Photo Genius protocol. It's my little protocol that you should follow if you want to start by building up your portfolio from the ground up and landing more clients in the future. So you want to start by photographing your friends and your family. You spend that time learning, experimenting, learning about the basics of your camera. And after that, you start by shooting non-models. This is the stage where you want to start by doing the stuff I told you, doing the Genius shoots, planning them out thoroughly, trying out all sorts of different styles and experimenting with new little things and finding out what you like, what you don't like. And then when you transition into shooting actual models, let's say you are still shooting actual models, you know exactly what type of work that you want to create. Obviously, when I'm saying experiment with different styles, I don't just mean do everything possible, because there may be a style that you really have no interest in at all and you know it's not going to do anything for you. Then in that case, don't do it. I'm not forcing you to be you have to do that because I want you to experiment. It's if you don't want to do that sort of stuff, that's fine, because there's certain types of shooting and certain types of lighting techniques or certain types of whatever it is photography that I haven't done in my portrait photography yet, and I'm fine with that because I probably won't like it. But for the most part, you want to try out as much as possible. And another thing that can kind of guide you into helping you find your style is by doing research about what type of brands that you want to work for someday, what type of work that you want to start by creating. I'll just literally visualize what is your dream job someday in terms of your dream shoots that you're gonna get booked for someday. And think about how you can align your work right now to that photo shoot, because you won't get that photo shoot someday if you don't approach your work in the same way that that shoot is right now. For me, how I found my style as a portrait photographer was through a bunch of experimenting. When I was in that phase of just shooting anyone and anything, any model, anyone who wasn't a model, friends, family, whatever, when I started doing that, I did so many shoots. I was shooting every week, every other week, and I experimented with all sorts of different styles, all sorts of different lighting, all sorts of different things. I used lens filters, I used no lens filters, I did clean look, I started doing more moody and dramatic look, I was doing all sorts of different types of models and outfits and themes, and I've finally now found out what I like to shoot through all that experimenting. So now all the photo shoots that I do, they hit. They really have a big impact, and they put I don't know if that's the word, a dent, because that's kind of a negative connotation, but it puts a print, an imprint on my portfolio, and that's another sick photo shoot adding to the portfolio. And you want to do the same thing with your work. Almost make sure after that experimental phase and you've kind of found your style, you can finally get to that phase like I'm in right now, where you can just create work that is amazing. Every single shoot that you do is perfect, it's great, it lands you another job, because someone sees it and they want to get a photo shoot kind of similar to that, and they pay you loads of money to do so, like they're doing with me. So yeah, and once you've found that style that you've resonated with the most, stick to that style as much as possible. You found something that you like, stick to that from now on. Don't try new things just for the sake of it, stick to that. And then if you change your mind in the future, I had that phase, you might have that few month phase, 3, 4, 5 month phase where you're doing this specific style of shooting and then you change it again. There's nothing wrong with that. That happens, don't worry about that, that happens, but try to stick to a specific style as much as possible. Try to stick to that one style as long as possible. Another thing I would say is just don't do too many shoots after you've kind of found that style. Don't try to force it and be 5 shoots a month, 4 shoots a month. Kind of diet it down a little bit there, because you don't want to burn out and you don't shoot for 2 months or something like that, and you're just you don't want that. You want to be able to have this consistency where you're shooting once, twice, 3 times a month consistently. And you're consistently building up your portfolio, you're getting better, and it's great to see. That's what you want to do. And obviously that phase where you're trying to find your style can be very long. It can be very difficult and take a lot of time to do so, which is why I created my program, Photo Genius University. Get access to courses, get access to personal training with me, and I'll make sure you accelerate that part, that phase of your career, so you don't have to spend 6 months trying to find your style like I did. I basically took a year until I really truly found my style. There's a student on my photography program, and he joined, and he didn't really know, before he joined, he didn't really know what type of stuff to shoot, and he was kind of doing random shoots, and then I literally from a few questions alone, from the one call with him, I knew exactly what type of work he should create from now on. And guess what? He's stuck to that, and he's already creating his best work yet. And that was all because I was personally coaching him, and I was joining him on his journey as a portrait photographer. That's something that you want right now. And guys, Good thing is about this program too, it isn't even expensive. It's really fucking cheap. It's about $47 a month at the moment. It's a price of an SD card. It's really not that much, guys. So I want you to join. I made it cheap on purpose so you can access it, so anyone can really access it. So yeah, click the top link below if you're interested. I want you to join today. I want to see you, I want to speak to you, and I want to help you improve your portrait photography. And I want you to start by making this your full-time career and make some real money from this, because this is not your hobby now, this is your career. I want you to start by taking this seriously and land the clients that you've always wanted to land. So yeah, anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to. Click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography. And I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.